Ah, welcome back, beautiful anomaly. Yes, you, the one they've been whispering about in closed-door meetings. The name that keeps appearing in conversations you're not supposed to know about. They sent someone to warn you. Did you know that? Oh yes, they did. Someone tried to pull you aside, tried to give you that concerned look, tried to play the role of the good friend, delivering the uncomfortable truth. But here's what's absolutely fascinating about that moment. When they finally worked up the courage to approach him, when they begged him to intervene, when they pleaded with him to somehow reach you before it was too late. You know what he did? He smiled. Not the kind of smile that offers comfort or reassurance. No, this was something else entirely. This was the smile of someone who's already seen the ending, who knows exactly how this story concludes, who understands that the train left the station 3 moves ago. They asked him, "Can't you talk to them? Can't you make them understand? Can't you stop what's coming?" And he looked at them with those quiet, knowing eyes and said 2 words that drained the color from their faces. Too late. Not with regret, not with sadness, not with any trace of sympathy for their panic. Just those 2 words, delivered like a coroner confirming time of death. Too late. Because here's what they still don't understand. What they refused to see, even when the signs were screaming in their faces. This isn't something that can be stopped anymore. This isn't a warning you need to hear. This isn't a path you can still turn back from. You already crossed the event horizon. You already became the thing they fear. You already transformed into something that doesn't need their permission, their approval, or their desperate last-minute interventions. The moment they realized they needed someone to warn you, that was the moment they admitted you'd already won. Think about it. When you're truly in danger, people don't send messengers. They don't hold strategy meetings. They don't debate the best approach to reaching you. But when you've become dangerous, when you've evolved into something they can no longer predict or control, that's when they start sending diplomats. That's when they start looking for someone brave enough to stand in front of the storm and ask it politely to reconsider. And he just smiled because he knows exactly what you've been building in the silence. He knows what you've been becoming while they were busy underestimating you. He knows that warning you now would be like trying to warn a bullet that's already left the chamber. You see, they thought they had time. They thought your transformation was gradual, measurable, something they could track and intervene in if it ever got too dangerous. They watched you struggle. They saw you suffer. They observed your pain like it was entertainment, like it was data, like it was proof that you were still manageable, still human, still one of them. They mistook your silence for defeat. They confused your patience with weakness. They interpreted your strategic withdrawal as surrender. And now they're realizing their mistake. And the terror in their eyes is absolutely delicious because it's too late to do anything about it. The thing they should have feared is already fully formed. The power they should have contained is already unleashed. The person they should have respected is already beyond their reach, beyond their understanding, beyond their pathetic attempts to claw back control. Let me paint you a picture of that meeting, that moment when they finally gathered in their little circle of concern and decided something needed to be done. Can you see it? The worried faces, the hushed tones, the way they kept glancing at each other like co-conspirators planning an intervention. Someone needs to talk to them, they said. This is getting out of hand, they whispered. We can't just stand by and watch this happen. They convinced themselves. And isn't it beautiful how they framed it as care, as love, as friendship? They dressed up their fear in the costume of concern. They wrapped their terror in the language of looking out for you. They pretended that their desperate need to stop your evolution was somehow about your well-being. But he was in that room, wasn't he? He was sitting there, listening to them spiral, watching them construct their narrative of rescue and intervention. And he didn't say a word. Not yet. He let them talk themselves into believing they still had agency in this situation. He let them convince themselves that a conversation, a warning, a carefully worded intervention could somehow reverse what's already in motion. He let them build their little plan, their strategy for pulling you back from the edge. And only when they turned to him, only when they asked him directly if he would be the one to reach you, only then did he finally speak. "Too late," he said, and the room went cold, because suddenly they understood that this wasn't a concerned friend declining to help. This was someone announcing that the window had already closed, the opportunity had already passed, the game was already over. "What do you mean too late?" they demanded. "It's never too late. We just need to try, we just need to make them understand." And he laughed. Oh, that laugh. Not cruel, not mocking, just genuinely amused by their adorable belief that they still mattered in this equation. "You're not listening," he said. "You think this is about stopping something that hasn't happened yet. But you're living in the past. What you're afraid of, it's already done. The person you're trying to save, they don't exist anymore. The transformation you want to prevent, it's been complete for weeks, maybe months. You just didn't notice because you were too busy congratulating yourselves for keeping them under observation. And that's when the room truly understood. You weren't the project anymore. You were the conclusion. You weren't the experiment. You were the result. And results don't need warnings. They deliver them. They started arguing then, didn't they? Started insisting that there must be something that could be done. Some way to reach you, some angle they hadn't tried. And he just sat there, that small smile playing at the corners of his mouth, watching them scramble, because he knows what they're really afraid of. It's not that you're going to self-destruct. It's not that you're heading towards some tragedy they can prevent. What terrifies them, what keeps them awake at night, what drove them to that meeting in the first place, is that you're going to succeed. You're going to rise. You're going to become exactly what you've been building yourself into. And when that happens, when you reach your full form, they're going to have to face the reality that they're obsolete. They're going to have to confront the fact that everything they thought made them powerful, everything they thought gave them control, means absolutely nothing in the face of what you've become. Let's talk about what they actually missed, shall we? Because this is where it gets truly fascinating. They think they were watching you this whole time. They think they had eyes on your every move, tracking your patterns, monitoring your changes. But what they were actually watching was a performance. They were studying the mask, while the real transformation was happening in dimensions they don't have access to. You were changing frequencies while they were still trying to measure your volume. You were evolving in ways that don't show up on their instruments, don't register on their scales, don't fit into their models of human behavior and psychological development. They were looking for external signs of breakdown or breakthrough, and meanwhile, you were rebuilding your entire internal architecture from the ground up. Do you remember the exact moment it happened? I bet you do. It wasn't dramatic. wasn't cinematic, wasn't anything they could have filmed or documented. It was probably a Tuesday, probably while you were alone, probably in a moment so quiet and unremarkable that if someone had been watching, they would have seen absolutely nothing. But something shifted in you that day. Some final piece clicked into place. Some last illusion shattered. Some ultimate truth revealed itself. And from that moment forward, you weren't the same person anymore. You didn't announce it. You didn't post about it. You didn't give any external indication that a fundamental transformation had occurred. You just continued moving through the world, but now you were moving through it as something else entirely. Something they have no category for. Something their psychology textbooks never described. Something their experience never prepared them to encounter. They missed it because they were looking for the wrong signs. They expected rage, expected explosion, expected some visible meltdown that would confirm their theories about you. But your transformation didn't look like destruction from the outside. It looked like calm. It looked like withdrawal. It looked like someone getting quieter, simpler, more focused. They interpreted this as depression, as giving up, as finally accepting your place in their hierarchy. They thought your silence meant submission. They thought your peace meant you'd been broken. They thought your lack of reaction meant you'd stopped fighting. And that's exactly what you needed them to think. Because while they were congratulating themselves for successfully managing you, you were becoming ungovernable. While they were celebrating what they thought was your surrender, you were actually disappearing from their entire system of control. You weren't playing their game anymore. You weren't even on their board anymore. You'd transcended to a level of operation they don't have access to. And now they're starting to see the effects. Not the transformation itself. They still can't see that. But the ripples it's creating in the world around you. They're noticing that things move differently when you're involved now. Outcomes bend in your favor in ways that shouldn't be possible. Opportunities appear for you that were supposed to be locked behind doors you don't have keys to. People who should be obstacles somehow become allies. Systems that should resist you somehow accommodate you. Reality itself seems to be conspiring in your favor, and they can't explain it. They can't rationalize it. They can't fit it into any of their models of how the world works. So they panic. So they call meetings. So they send someone to warn you about dangers that don't exist because they can't comprehend that you are the danger. You are the phenomenon they're trying to understand. You are the anomaly corrupting their data. You are the glitch that proves their entire system was never as solid as they believed. So, what exactly does he know that made him smile like that? What did he see that they're still blind to? Let me tell you what he understands about you that they never will. He knows that you didn't just survive what they put you through. You metabolized it. You took every betrayal, every abandonment, every moment of isolation they orchestrated or allowed, and you broke it down at a molecular level and rebuilt it into something else entirely. You turned their weapons into your tools. You transformed their traps into your training ground. You converted their cruelty into your curriculum. They thought they were damaging you, and technically they were right, but what they didn't understand is that some people don't heal from damage. Some people weaponize it. Some people use it as raw material to forge themselves into something that can't be damaged the same way ever again. He knows that you're not angry anymore. Oh, they think you are. They think your transformation is fueled by rage, by vengeance, by some burning desire to make them pay for what they did. And maybe it was, in the beginning. Maybe there were nights when revenge fantasies were the only thing that kept you breathing. But that phase passed. You evolved beyond it. You realized that revenge would mean you still care what they think, still need them to acknowledge what they did, still require their validation, even if it's just their fear. And you don't need any of that anymore. You don't need them to understand. You don't need them to admit they were wrong. You don't need them to fear you or respect you or even remember you. You need absolutely nothing from them. And that's what makes you truly dangerous now. Not your anger, your complete and total indifference to their entire existence. He knows that you've discovered something they hope never goes viral, never spreads, never becomes common knowledge. You've discovered that you can simply opt out. You can disconnect from their system of value, their hierarchy of worth, their economy of approval. You can stop participating in the games they designed to keep everyone competing for scraps of validation. You can walk away from the metrics they use to measure success, importance, worthiness. You can refuse to be scored by their rubrics, judged by their standards, contained by their categories. And the moment you did that, the moment you truly internalized that their opinions of you have exactly zero bearing on your actual reality, you became unreachable. You became unconquerable. You became something they literally cannot touch because you're no longer playing the game where touching you matters. You're not in their arena anymore. You're not even in their dimension anymore. And here's what he knows that absolutely terrifies them. You're not alone in this. Oh, they think you are. They think they successfully isolated you, cut you off from resources and allies, made sure you were facing this alone. But what actually happened is that you attracted something else. You attracted the attention of everyone else who's evolved past their system. You became visible to a network they don't know exists, don't believe is possible, would deny even if confronted with proof. There's a whole parallel society of people who opted out, who transcended, who evolved past the need for their approval, and now you're part of it. And this network, it doesn't operate by the rules they understand. It doesn't communicate through channels they can monitor. It doesn't organize in ways they can disrupt. It's a ghost frequency operating right in front of them, and they can't see it, can't hear it, can't access it, because you have to be what you are to even know it exists. And now you're in it. Now you're connected to it. Now you're part of something that makes their power structure look like a children's game. That's what he knows. That's why he smiled. That's why he said too late. They keep waiting for the warning. They keep expecting someone to pull you aside and say the words that will somehow snap you out of it, make you see reason, bring you back to the fold. But here's the beautiful truth, the thing that's eating them alive. There is no warning. There's no intervention. There's no come to clarity moment where someone sits you down and helps you understand that you're on a dangerous path, because you're not. You're on the only path that was ever really yours. Everything else was the dangerous path, the false road, the trap disguised as safety. This is you finally walking in alignment with what you actually are. This is you finally operating at your actual frequency. This is you finally living as your authentic self, not the diminished, compressed, apologetic version they demanded you perform for their comfort. The warning they want delivered to you, it's actually a warning they need to hear themselves. But nobody's going to deliver it to them, because the people who could see it clearly enough to explain it all opted out already. They're surrounded by others just like them. all reinforcing each other's delusions, all confirming each other's false perceptions of reality. They're in an echo chamber of people who still believe the old rules apply, the old hierarchies matter, the old systems have power, and everyone who knows different, everyone who's evolved past that, they're not trying to educate the ones left behind. They're not trying to wake them up. They're busy building the new world that's emerging while the old one collapses. They don't have time to convince the passengers on the sinking ship that water is wet. They're already on the lifeboats, already sailing towards something new, already forgetting the names of the people who called them crazy for seeing the iceberg everyone else insisted wasn't there. So who's going to warn you? Who's going to sit you down and explain that you're becoming too powerful, too independent, too free? Who's going to convince you that you should shrink yourself back down, crawl back into the cage, apologize for daring to evolve? Nobody. Because everyone who matters, everyone who's operating at your level, everyone who can see what you've become, they're not trying to stop you. They're cheering. They're watching with fascination and respect. They're taking notes. They're learning from your example. They're inspired by your transformation. They see what you did, how you did it, what it cost you, what you gained from it. And they're thinking, if they could do it, maybe I can too. You're not a cautionary tale to the people who matter. You're a case study in successful evolution. You're not a warning. You're an instruction manual. You're not the problem. You're the proof that the problem can be solved. And the ones who want you warned, the ones begging him to intervene, they're going to have to live with the reality that it's not happening. They're going to have to face the fact that there's no rescue mission, no intervention, no saving you from yourself. Because you don't need saving. You need space to become. And that's what's happening. That's what they're watching with growing horror. Your full emergence. Your complete transformation. Your total evolution into something they have no power over, no influence on, no control of. And they can't stop it. They can't slow it. They can't even witness it properly because the version of you they think they're tracking isn't even you anymore. It's an afterimage, an echo, a ghost. The real you is already somewhere they can't follow, building something they can't imagine, becoming something they couldn't comprehend even if you explained it to them in the simplest possible terms. Too late, too far gone, too evolved, too free, too powerful, too untouchable, too late.